Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. Today we have Alan Lazaros again. It was episode number 83, a little over a year ago. So it's exciting that Alan is back, and I love talking to this guy because he's all about mindset and business growth and really helping people create the life that they want. So it's going to be awesome. Well, Alan, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Nick, I want to say thank you, first and foremost, for having me back, man. It says something. I appreciate it. And also, it looks like you got new digs. This is a new studio for you.
Yes, it is.
So it looked very different last time you and I got together. As for introducing myself, I am the CEO of a company called Next Level University. And it's Next Level You, pun intended, not Next Level Me, not Next Level my business partner, Kevin, but Next Level You. And it's a success company. So we used to be a personal development company that also talked about success principles. Now we're a success company that also talks about personal development. So all things fitness, personal development, and success, and how to help you become more successful and get to the next level is basically what the whole company is built on. It's a podcast as well. And my main focus now, we have an 18-person team. We now work with 113 paying clients every month. So I'm overwhelmed, but in the best way, because in the beginning it was crickets. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I'm sure you kind of made that little shift in your business because I'm sure it didn't take you long to realize that, yeah, you can help people with their business, but if their mindset isn't right, it takes a lot longer to get there.
Mindset is unbelievably important. And I find it fascinating that in some rooms it's overvalued and in other rooms it's completely neglected. And so I'm happy to talk about that today too.
Yeah, let's definitely dive into mindset a lot because, and I shared with you on the first episode that my whole journey to become an entrepreneur started because I found a podcast called The Mindset Mentor. And that started everything for me.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really cool.
Nice. That's the power of a podcast. Is we all started. So for me, I started 10 years ago, and it was a TED Talk by Tony Robbins. And regardless of what you think of Tony, the TED Talk is magnificent. It's called Why We Do What We Do. And that TED Talk for me got me to realize what I want to be doing in the world. I never expected to be a coach. I did intend to be a CEO eventually. I was climbing the ladder in corporate, but I never intended to be a coach. And now I'm a coach, a trainer, and a podcaster. I have 11,322 hours of coaching, training, and podcasting. I have what I call a 10,000 hour tracker, which, Nick, so 10 years ago, I started tracking this. Every speech, every training, every coaching session, right? And eventually I passed 10,000 hours, and now I still call it a 10,000 hour tracker, but now it's 11,322. So I think I have to change the name. But it's over here on my whiteboard, and I have a target. And on the target, it says coaching in the center, training in the next ring, and then podcasting after that. And there's an arrow pointed at coaching, and it just says stay on target. And so those are my three things that I do. Coaching is 1-to-1, training is 1-to-several, and podcasting is 1-to-scale. And I just try to get better and better and better. So I always say success is not doing 10,000 things. It's doing 3 things 10,000 times and getting better at them every single time. And if you reverse engineer anyone's success, you usually find a couple key things that they got really freaking good at. And they really just honed those consistently over time. And so we can get into that.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about because, well, number one, 10,000 hours, that means a lot for people like us. Like, we know the power of 10,000 hours doing anything. You know, they say you become an expert at that. And another thing is, I like that you're saying, you know, there's 3 things that everybody has that they get really good at. And I like that a lot right now that you said that, because over the past, 3 years that I've had my business, I've been bouncing around doing every sort of different thing, and nothing's really working. Some things kind of work, but not great.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm basically focused on three things, and that is it. Like, I cut out everything else, and now I'm putting all my attention into three things to get good at those, and then excel in that.
Nice. What are those three things, brother?
So the two things are podcasting, and then social media for businesses,
Nice.
and then producing podcasts for people. And
Nice.
that includes editing and all that.
Very nice.
So yeah, those three things. Like, that's
Yep.
it.
That's it. And you just
And
get better and better and better at those
yeah,
three things, and then you start to become known for those three things, and then people start to recommend you. It's called being a meaningful. You remember Zig Ziglar way back?
yeah,
Zig
yeah,
Ziglar, of course. So Zig Ziglar used to say, Zig Ziglar was a speaker in the early personal development days. This is like before Jim Rohn, before Tony Robbins, all that. This is the Og Mandino days and Les Brown and all that. And he said, you can be a meaningful specific or you can be a wandering generality. And I think we all start off as a wandering generality. We don't know who we are yet. We don't know what we're good at yet. We don't know our strengths and weaknesses yet. We don't know where we fit yet. And I'm only 36, but I feel like it took me so long to find my three things. And I feel it's very liberating to know when you wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. I got an 18-person team. We have 113 clients. We're heard in 180 countries. I have 3 podcasts that I do. We produce 64 podcasts. I coach 21 business owners. It's overwhelming, but it's very nice to wake up in the morning and say, okay, I just have to do those 3 things really well.
yep,
And everything else I'm allowed to suck at. And again, obviously you still have to do your health and fitness. You still have to take care of the home. You still have to, take care of your intimate partner and that kind of stuff. But it's really liberating to find your 3 things because life is so overwhelming when you don't have clarity.
that's for sure. If we went back 4 months from right now, I was so overwhelmed every single day of my life and just felt like I was getting nowhere. Just like, you get in like a cycle every day, just a circle. And it's like the same thing every day. You feel like crap. You don't feel like you're making a difference. And it just keeps on going. And then finally, I decided I'm cutting out all the stuff that isn't working.
Nice.
I'm going to focus on the 3 things that I enjoy, and we're just going to go. And ever since then, uh, the last, in the last 6 weeks, we've increased our income by 500%.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Huge. Yeah.
Nice. So now it's time to stay humble because
Oh, yeah.
when we did that. So I always joke the first 2 years in business, this is 8 years ago. The first 2 years in business, Kevin, my business partner, and I, it was just us, and we made a total of $13,000 between the two of us.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was our full-time job. We didn't have full-time jobs. We both had very successful careers in corporate before that, but then we quit. We went all in on podcasting. We started a podcast. And we made $13,000 total. And fortunately, we stuck with it. And in July, we hit our first $100,000 month.
Damn.
Yeah. And so we made basically like 8 times more in 1 month than the entire first 2 years in business. And that's the power of sticking with it and getting better over time. But more importantly, to your point, it's honing on what you do well. Because we tried to do, and this is why I said to stay humble, because we actually had a lot of growth between 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2023. 2020, we had 119% year over year growth. So we were doubling our business every year. And we got cocky, man. Kevin bought a BMW. I got a Tesla. He went to Scotland. We had 24 team members. We took on too much. It's called being over leveraged.
Mm-hmm.
And we took on more debt. We reinvested in the company. And then all of a sudden, so in 2023, we only grew by 19% instead of 119%, 19%. And I think it was actually 18. And I think I rounded it up. And the next year in 2024, we only grew by 11%. And so I sat Kevin down and I said, brother, we have 24 departments, 24 team members, and a charity, and we're going to go out of business. We need to consolidate. So we said, what are the departments that we would go out of business without? And we came up with 8. Only 8 of them were necessary to continue growing the company. And so I think that when you start to reach a new level, sometimes you get cocky and you get shiny object syndrome and you lose focus.
Yep.
And so I call it the 3D plan. You got to delete everything that's not profitable, either indirectly or directly. So some things are indirectly profitable, some things are directly profitable. Then you got to delegate everything that you can that's not profitable, not directly profitable. And then you got to double down on the thing that actually makes revenue, at least in business. For the entrepreneurs listening, that the 3D plan, delete, delegate, double down, delete, delegate, double down, delete, delegate, double down. And for me, the double down is coaching, training, podcasting. I'm trying to get more percentage one-on-one coaching, more percentage trainings and podcasts. That's actually one of the reasons I'm here is training, podcasting, and coaching. Those are my 3 things. And if you said, hey, Alan, I want to hang out, I'd say, Nick, I appreciate you. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for the offer, but I'm not interested because I got to focus on my things. But if you want to do a podcast, my friend, I'm here. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, because you can do all 3 things in one shot. So that's what you're doing. You're doing all your 3 things right now, which is awesome.
I'm slightly coaching.
Yeah, slightly. That's a lot different.
Yeah.
You're definitely training and teaching.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's my favorite work in the world, my friend.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, it makes life easier when you can step back for a minute, look at everything you're doing. And for you, you track everything. So, and I'm getting better. I'm still not great. I got a lot of work to do. But when you track, you can really see what's working and what isn't.
For the entrepreneurs listening, Nick, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like I said, I do. So I have one client who's 5 times a week. I have 2 that are 3 times a week. I have one that's twice a week, and then I do weekly, biweekly, monthly, and all different people all over the world. And I have 21 clients currently, but I've coached hundreds over the years. One of the things that has been wildly overlooked for business owners is measuring. I always joke. I say, what if Michael Phelps' coach was like, yeah, man, just jump in the pool, swim around. You cannot succeed, at least not sustainably and repeatably, without measuring. So many business owners don't even know how much revenue they make. They don't know the key behaviors that actually lead to success. They don't have their top 3 priorities in order. So my coaching program, I'll give you the system. We literally do dream statement, which is 10 plus years out, 1 sentence, sort of a true north. I wear this North Star around my neck to remind me, stay focused upward. And then we do goals, which is quarterly goals. So Q3 ends in 13 days, and then it's going to be Q4, home stretch. Then we do top 3 priorities. These are the 3 plants that you're going to water intentionally. We all still have to take out the trash. We still have to clean the house, but these are the 3 priorities. For me, it's coaching, training, podcasting. And then I have a goal under each: coaching clients, number of training attendees, and then number of podcasts and listens and views and that kind of thing. But I measure it all, to your point. You got to measure it. You got to know whether or not you're winning or losing at your own game. So it's dreams. I always got to close my eyes when I do this. Dreams, goals, priorities, metrics, habits, skills, and identity. Because once you have the dreams, goals, priorities, metrics, habits, and skills in alignment, you sometimes don't execute. And the reason you're not executing is because of the identity stuff. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of embarrassment, fear of your family, whatever, abandonment, fear of judgment, all these things. So that's when you got to work on the identity piece. But I really do think that there's a system of success. I taught group coaching on this last night. There's a system of success that the principles apply to everyone, but the way you apply those principles is different for each context, each person, each circumstance, each country, each goal, each core value. Everyone's different, but the same principles apply to all of us, just not in the same way. And if we can understand that duality, we can all be more successful. Goal achievement is a science. It's a repeatable, sustainable thing that you iterate upon. And it's not actually, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to run and iterate upon a system.
Yeah. It's all numbers. A lot of these things that we're talking about, you just check the numbers and you'll see your results either or you won't. And then you know what to change. A lot of this goes back to mindset, what your mindset is when you're trying to accomplish your goals. But I hit on that a little bit.
Absolutely. So I think first and foremost, the mindset that you have to have is measuring. There's a book called Measure What Matters by a consultant early on in Google. So Google was founded 31 years ago. And there's a book called Measure What Matters that talks about what's called OKRs, objectives and key results. When my girlfriend recommended that book, and she loves the book too, and I said, instead of OKRs, I said, okay, duh. But I realized I'm an engineer, so everything's numbers for me already. So that book's really good for someone who's not numbers oriented. But I think the mindset you have to have as a business owner is, number one, you got to play the long game. You got to so I'll give you an example to make this tangible. Social media isn't going anywhere, but TikTok might. So you go all in on mastering social media. You don't go all in on mastering Clubhouse. So there's fundamentals that don't go anywhere, and then there's things around it. So social media is a fundamental that's not going to go anywhere, but whether or not you use Twitter or X or Facebook or so you got to play the long game and you got to know the fundamentals. And the mindset is, I'm not going to allow shiny objects to distract me. The mindset is, I'm going to find a way or I'm going to make a way. The mindset is, I have a vision for my company and for my life that I am attached to, but I'm going to adapt along the way to create it. It's a lot of dualities. It's a lot of paradoxes. It's like people say, work smart, not hard. And I say, no, you need both. You need both. That's why life is so hard. You need both. You can't be just warm, but you can't be just strong. You have to be both. You have to be loving and hardcore. You have to be working hard and working smart. You have to be both innovative and consistent. It's holding the duality, which is holding two seemingly opposing ideas in your consciousness simultaneously. Everyone is on one side or the other, when in reality, it's holding the duality and running them in parallel, and it's sort of the yin and yang type of thing. So you have to be good with people and good with numbers. Those things don't normally come together. And so that's the mindset you got to have is, I'm going to care about profitability in the short term to make sure I don't gotta go out of business, but I'm also going to stay focused on the long term and play the long game. And so that confuses people. It's very hard to reprogram yourself for success when most of us are either micro or macro. We're either warm or strong. We're either disciplined or go with the flow. We're either creative or engineer. You need both.
Uh-huh.
And it's very important to have a mindset where you realize that you have to double down on your strengths and mitigate your weaknesses. You can't just mitigate your weaknesses, but you can't just double down on your strengths either.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that's the mindset to have.
Yeah. Something that I think about all the time that helps me as an entrepreneur is I don't use or, I use and.
Nice.
So it's not this or that. Okay, I'm going to do this and that,
Nice.
And it's helped me a lot. And also just doing one more thing. If I'm going to, if I get up in the morning and one of my goals is to make 20 phone calls, I'm going to make 21.
Nice.
Doing a little extra helps a lot because you feel more accomplished. So then you're happier with yourself. You have these little wins all day long. And that's how I set up my day. Every morning I write down five tasks. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard. But those 5 things have to get done every day. And every day I go through, I check them off, and I feel good about myself, and that helps me go into the next day
Good for you,
happier,
Nick.
and I push even harder.
Good for you, man. And I think that one more pushes the boundary of your current limitations. Like it's you're always pushing for a personal best. And you go for 15 and then you get to 15 and then you're like, you know what, I can do one more. And I think that you're always pushing your capabilities outward. You're always pushing the boundaries of what you're capable of when you do that. So it's not just the wins that you're stacking, it's also the growth that you're stacking. So yeah, Nick, good for you, man. You're doing it. You're
Oh
doing it.
yeah, yeah. And I've been doing the one more thing here and there, just on and off. I heard somebody talk about years ago, but now I'm actually reading my last book. One more thing.
One more thing.
Yeah, and that's such a good book. I'm about halfway through,
Nice.
and this morning I spilled my coffee on it, so I wasn't very happy about that.
That
But
sucks, man.
yeah, it
That
does.
sucks. Did you at least have the sleeve on it?
No, I had the book open. I was sitting there reading it, and I knocked over my coffee, so it was
Damn.
right inside the book.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
That's tough.
so it's over there drying out now.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap this up, I want you to let the audience know how they can reach out to you and work with you.
Thank you again, Nick, for having me. I appreciate it, man. Round 2 was
Yeah.
awesome. For anyone out there, I think every entrepreneur, every business owner desperately needs to figure this out for themselves. I finally figured this out. It took me 30 years to figure it out. I have my absolutely people and I have my absolutely not people. So I have a matrix on my whiteboard right over here. It's an X and Y axis. If you're on YouTube, I'm using that as my arms. The Y axis is coachability. Someone who is coachable, who's open-minded and humble enough to listen. And then the Y axis is work ethic. So if you have high coachability and high work ethic, you are my absolutely people. If you have high coachability, high humility, and high work ethic, I am your coach. I've got you. Those are my absolutely people. I feel like I can accomplish so much with you because you'll actually have the humility to listen and to execute and to play the long game. Now, there's 2 types of people, Nick, that I don't work with. And it's the opposite of coachability and work ethic. So if people have low coachability and low humility, aka entitlement, and they want big rewards for minimal effort, low work ethic, they are not my people. So my absolutely people, if you're coachable and have high work ethic, I'm your guy. Reach out. I promise you it's more affordable than you think. I'll be in your corner. We'll do the metrics, habits. We'll dial you in, reverse engineer your goals and dreams. I'm a computer engineer. Everything is numbers. Everyone needs an engineer in their corner, making sure that they stay on track, get back on track, iterate, stay on track, get back on track. That's my job. If you are one of these 2 people, please do not reach out under any circumstances. There's 2 types of people I can't stand, Nick. One of them is spoiled brats. These are the entitled, spoiled people of the world who want huge rewards for minimal effort, and they think they deserve things by default. You and I are not going to get along. That's not my thing. Number 2 is bullies. People who tear other people down to try to feel better about themselves. So if you're a spoiled brat or a bully, please do not reach out. If you have high work ethic and high coachability, please reach out. Please let me know. I would love to be in your corner. And I can tell you this, if you have high coachability and high work ethic and you're willing to play the long game, I know that I will amplify your success to a 10x degree more than what you pay for me because my price is affordable on purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, the listeners out there, if you're the type of person that he wants to work with, reach out to him right now, because I can tell you what, just a few times where I've talked to you and listened to your podcast, you know what you're doing. You're excellent at it. And yeah, like,
Thank you, Nick.
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, as you might remember, my slogan is your abilities are infinite. Well, what does that mean to you?
Progress and pursuit of improvement is infinite. It's an infinite game. It's a mountain that gets higher as you climb it. I have something called the 25 impact points of effective communication. I'm going to write a book on it at some point. And if you think about my 3 priorities of coaching, training, and podcasting, the one thing that makes me better at all 3 of those is effective communication. I think, and I hope that I've communicated effectively here, but to be completely transparent, I used to be awful at it. A lot of engineers have trouble because they think in math modalities. They have trouble articulating in words and concepts. I think in numbers, so it's hard for me. But I've gotten a lot better, and that's been a huge advantage. So effective communication is something I work on every single day. The 25 impact points is something I do green, yellow, and red on every week to make sure that I'm on track. Tonality, storytelling, compelling visuals, all the stuff. And so to me, infinite means the pursuit of perfection, knowing that you never get there because nothing's ever perfect, but you can always get better. Everyone can get better, no matter where you're starting from, no matter where you used to be, no matter where you are now. Everyone can get better tomorrow than they are today. And I think that not trying to do all you can with all you have is the only mistake.
I agree. Man, I love that. That's incredible. Well, thank you again for coming on, not just once, but twice. It was really incredible.
Thank you, Nick, for having me. Gratitude, 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 man. Keep cranking. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember, your abilities are infinite.